Welcome back to the SCIF. This is the Green Beret Life. I am Matt. That's Stu. We have another fantastic show for you tonight, if I do say so myself, put together almost entirely by Stu. I was gone for the majority of the day, and Stu stepped up and got some stories put together, and we're ready to go. So what are we going to talk about tonight, Stu?
Got several things going on that we're going to look at. The big thing is it looks like we may have a chance to salvage the FBI with Kash Patel being named the director, and it's just come out in the past day or so. Dan Bongino has accepted the offer of deputy director of the FBI. So there is a chance. There's a small chance, but there's a chance that the institution can be salvaged. It'll just
depend on there's a chance.
I'm saying there's a chance.
Not in a million years. So you're saying there's a chance. Okay.
Well, 4 years, not a million. They got 4. Because you know as well as I do, as soon as the next administration comes in, if it's not a Republican one, they're going to be ousted.
That was a Dumb and Dumber quote, and I hope that didn't go over your head.
No, I called it. I was good with it.
Because Dumb and Dumber, I know you would catch.
Oh, dude, that's my jam. I hate that fucking movie. God, I hate that movie.
You do?
It's funny the first time. After that, it's
Dumb and Dumber is funny. That now the second one was terrible. But I thought, the second one is terrible. Yeah, they fucked that all up. The first one is freaking funny. I thought you liked that movie.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. So what was that? What was you saying your favorite movie was? The Crying Game or some shit? I've never seen it.
No, Brokeback Mountain.
Oh, yeah,
Brokeback. I never would have watched it if you had not given us such a glowing review.
Yeah, well,
you're like something about the way it made you tingle in your no special place. I'm like, that's got to be.
It was a myopic, timeless piece of the Western frontier, written from a different angle, and
different angle.
We need. Lord. So, anyways.
All right, kids. So yeah, we've got that. We've got border crossings are down 94% from this time last year. And this is after Biden whining and bitching and moaning that I can't do anything unless Congress passes more laws to give me the power to. And yeah, looks like that wasn't really necessary after all.
Well, he was partially right. He can't do anything.
Well, yeah, I give him 50%. You're right. That's
he didn't do anything. Yeah.
Now DOGE has been doing some work, and there's been tossed around. Somebody brought up kind of a DOGE return, and Trump is on board with it. So there could, and again, it's all talk at this point, but it is nice to think about that they take a percentage of the funds that have been saved and cut by DOGE and return them to the taxpayers, because
I don't know. I don't know if I like the idea of returning that right now when we've got $37 trillion in debt. You know what I mean?
That is true.
Why not give it to getting some homes for the people of North Carolina? I'd prefer, No.
But yeah, that is true. That it could be used better in other places. But if it gets people on board with DOGE, and then knocking off the nonsense. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh yeah, there was apparently it had been uncovered by an individual named Christopher Rufo, that there's a secure chat that the intelligence agencies use. It is called Interlink.
Didn't you tell me some of the contractors were on that too, way back when?
No, none of that. So there's a not that it's a secure messaging channel that the different intelligence agencies use, and apparently they've been using it to discuss fetishes, kinks, the possibility, and
LGBTQIA plus shit.
Right. What I'm talking about, how they would love to have an intersex or hermaphrodite baby so that their children can choose later. It's like these people are just there's I don't know. People, I wonder. Sometimes I pray for the media, and sometimes I wish it away. It just depends on the story that comes up.
Did you ever hear the Tool song "Inema"?
No.
Oh, you got to listen to it. You got to listen to it. In fact, we might have to play that at some stage here. We'll get a copyright strike on YouTube if we do it. But he's talking about just washing it all away. Tidal wave, earthquakes, right? Learn to swim. Yeah.
The five-finger death punch washed it all away.
Yeah. Yeah. So what else we got?
That's about it. There's only a few stories tonight, but I didn't think it would really get this way with Trump, but they're knocking out the same things and just making progress with the same initiatives that he started when he came into office.
I know you don't have this on your head, but have you heard about this deal with Dan Crenshaw being caught on a hot mic saying he's going to kill Tucker Carlson if he ever sees him?
I was gonna pull that up because I know you're such a huge Dan Crenshaw fan.
I can't stand Eye Patch McCain, but yeah.
I thought the Green Berets looked up to the Navy SEALs.
You
guys need heroes, right? Everybody needs a hero.
That's right. Oh,
I did see that, and I was like, that's because I remember when he first kind of came onto the scene, he was like, kind of the next big thing. Everybody was expecting, real conservative. Everybody was expecting, real conservative.
Until he got elected and everybody realized what he was. I've given my theories out on these guys before. I think these guys were picked because if you look at his background, it's Ivy League and all of this bullshit. And I think he joined the Navy to be a SEAL for the military bona fides, right? And then he was already set and ready to go to become a congressman.
Well, did he do school first and then SEALs, or did he do the schooling after he was in?
School first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's a bunch of these. When you look at there's a bunch of them out there. Okay. If you look at even Ron DeSantis, look at his whole background. He didn't go special operations, but if you look and you start to put the math together, we talked about John Bolton's organization were the big first donator to get Ron DeSantis into Congress, right? When you see these guys, or when they sell their training company for $90 million, I don't want to mention any other names, right? To a big contractor, and and they become a congressman. A $300 million deal, and they're a senator now, right? So when you see stuff like this, you're like,
how did that happen?
Yeah. To me, it sounds like they're bought and paid for. But you look at Dan Crenshaw, and Dan Crenshaw has been a rhino since he's been in the House of Representatives. He's been terrible. He's been absolutely terrible on everything. And then he badmouths primarily other SEALs. He doesn't step out of his lane and really talk about other special operations much, but he's badmouthed some other SEALs for really no reason and gotten it wrong too. Who's the who's the guy who is the ultra marathon runner and what
he was the one, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he was shitting all over him, and then he basically told people that he didn't deploy or he wasn't known for deployments, and the guy did deploy. And it's like, what the hell are you talking about? Why would you go and shit on somebody for no reason? You know what I mean?
What's that guy's name? He was the black guy that's done like he was like a ranger and a SEAL or
yeah,
SF.
he was both, and he was a fat kid when he was younger, and this is how he sort of got his way out of this whole deal. And yeah, he became a ranger, and then he went and became a SEAL. I'll think of his name in a second, but I'm sure somebody out there's already put his name up.
I can't think of his name.
Not because we're trying to think of it. But anyways, Dan Crenshaw picked a fight with him. He's picked a fight with a lot of people. I think Eddie Gallagher, and he was wrong on that. Eddie Gallagher got screwed by the Navy, right?
David Goggins.
David Goggins, that's right. David Goggins.
Dude, if you what did I watch? Or I watched a couple of things with Eddie Gallagher. Mm-hmm. One of them was who's the guy that's got the big podcast where he's got all the SF guys and all that comes on? Sean Ryan.
Oh, Sean Ryan. Okay, yeah.
I listened to Eddie Gallagher on Sean Ryan, then I listened to him somewhere else, and just the absolute railroading.
Oh, dude, we had
the absolute just illegal shit the government
before you were part of this show. We had a friend of this show whose father was a SEAL, and we sort of got the inside track while this was all going down, right, on what was going on with him. He was getting completely screwed, you know. And I'm glad Trump stepped in and took care of all of this, because they were bound and determined to make an example out of him for something. And it's bullshit. You know, you see the whole thing when we brought Michelle Black on and we talked about the operation that killed her husband in Africa, and you see what the command did there. So, you know, it's you can never take the first story you get. You got to be able to dig into these things and find out what really frickin' happened before you can make up your mind on any of this shit. But I can tell you right now, Dan Crenshaw, why he hasn't been primaried already is beyond me. Hopefully this is going to be the impetus to push that forward and get his ass out of there.
His district is real heavy defense industry district. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So with him having the field credit and all that, he just kind of fits that district, whether they pay attention to him anytime other than, you know, at the voting booth. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine, because he has been he has fallen well short of my expectations of what he was going to.
Well, and you know, he's a paid shill, because anybody that was in the special operations realm, right, during the war on terror, should have gotten a firsthand experience what was going on and what was being sold, right? Yeah. So there's really no excuse. The defense industry is how many billions? We can't determine. Did we send 500 billion to Ukraine, or did we send 158 billion to Ukraine? We can't even come to terms on that number, right?
What they're doing is they're parsing words and saying, "Oh, we only sent 150 billion," when they're looking at cash money. But then when you look at all of the armaments that we sent, it probably adds up to 500 billion. Because whenever people
what people need to know is that we're funding their retirement funds for public employees over there.
Yeah.
So not only are we sending them munitions, we're sending them cash, cold hard cash, and we can't keep track of any of it. but this is the defense industry. The defense industry is a freaking mess. It's a mess. And we shouldn't say the defense industry, because if you look at all of it, big ag, big pharma, all of these that tie themselves to the hip to the federal government and are used, and we don't know. We're starting to see through DOGE, and that's why everybody's getting so uncomfortable where this money is going, right? Where it's going. I think what's going on with this whole DOGE thing, dude, here's what I think is going to happen. Right now, they're showing the waste, fraud, and abuse, right? They're showing you all of it. I think Act 2 is going to be showing you where the money was going, right? I think that is on the docket next, and I think that's what they're really.
But remember,
really
what we covered last week, Matt, where they had this code in the accounting software that was supposed to tell you where the money was going, and they just left it blank.
Well, see, what from the latest update that I've heard is that Elon Musk's employees that he's got at DOGE now have software inside all of these systems figuring out a chain of custody for where the money was being spent and where it's going. So I think that's what's going on right now as we speak, because this is what I heard, right? So there's a reason why Elon Musk is there. I mean, he's got the access to some of the, brightest computer minds on the planet, right? And putting this all together to figure out where this is, because it was intentionally done to be confusing, like we talked about last week, so we wouldn't know where the shit went, right? Yeah,
it was definitely done intentionally to it was a shell game, and it would wind up the USAID would put money out to this NGO, that would put money out through that NGO, that would money out to that NGO, that would be
someone would be in charge that could redirect that money in any way they felt fit, right? Yeah. There was like an intermediary.
By the time it gets, 8 steps down the path, oh, we're donating to this congressperson because they support this cause. So it winds up being your taxpayer dollars that get
sent
put out
overseas.
$100 million, and every step they're pulling out 5% of their cut, and then it gets funneled right back to a congressperson
under the table. So how are these basically government employees, right, becoming multimillionaires, right? Yeah. With a salary that would not lead to the kind of wealth that these guys end up leaving government service.
It's a Scooby-Doo mystery, Matt. No one can figure it out.
Well, I think we got people figuring it out right now, and that's why you're hearing the screaming and hollering.
We've had our best and our brightest for decades trying to figure out how they're doing it, and it's a Scooby-Doo mystery.
That's right. Ruh-roh.
Randy.
Need a Scooby snack, right? So,
well, hey, do you want to move over to Rumble so we can get off of YouTube and start digging into
why do we do this? Should we tell people why we do this?
They may already know, but you can let them know anyway.
Google sucks. YouTube sucks. Yeah. So